Yeah. Welcome everybody to Panfish Nation. Along with Mark, I'm Lyle. Mark, I want to wish happy birthday to your prize champion dog there in the background. It is awesome. You just told me that she had celebrated her birthday and got 2 pieces of cheese. That's a
Yep,
huge accomplishment.
it is 14 years for a bulldog. That's crazy. Bulldogs don't live that long.
14
People,
years.
yeah, people are like, why does she just lay there all the time? I go, she's older than me and Lyle put together. That's what I tell them. That's pretty old in dog
She's
years.
earned that spot
She
there to lay down
sure
and take a
has.
break.
When I'm that age and in people years, I'm going to do the same thing. Maybe just not on a pancake on the
I
floor.
got to tell you, I've already made it way past this point I thought I'd ever make it. So I'm a happy camper. Every day's a great day for me. Hey, Stephanie, how you doing?
Hello, Stephanie.
Before
Godstruck.
let me check right quick. I don't think anybody sent me any. No, they did not. I was told I would get some tournament results for a crappie tournament, but I did. They didn't send them, so that's good. I don't have to. I thought maybe I forgot to look and check on, but I didn't get them, so they didn't. Well, you said we go to the people in chat and welcome everybody into the show, Mark.
All right, here we go. I know Betty's out there watching, so I want to say hello to Betty. I want to say hello to D. We'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. A little overflow from the bait shop. But I see 922 Crappie Barbecue in the house. I see Avid Fisherman. There's Chucky Morgan. Miss Cindy Stokes. How you doing, Cindy? Cindy, you're going to be an aunt again. We'll talk later. Crappie Day Fish on in the house. What's up, my friend? There's Creole Catfishing. Maybe he's going to change his name to Bull Shark Fisherman. Fat Boy Eric in the house. Bacon you, bud. Hillbilly Hippie. It's all mine. How you doing, Michelle? There's Jimmy Graham, Joe Buck 66, John Boy's Catfishing, JP3 Outdoors. He's back on day shifts, I think. He's been
Bless his
messaging me.
heart. Well, we missed him.
We do. There's Lance McCoo in the house. Look, lady. There's the great Maurice Kaysen. I see Mr. Mike Irvin in the house. Troy over at Real and Virtual Outdoors. We're up to Troy. Check out his channel. Troy does some online fishing and gaming and stuff like that. Check him out. We want to support Troy because he shares out everybody's links. We appreciate you, bud. Sean Chili in the house. There's Sandy over at Silver Fox Fishing. Susquehanna Stan, who's going to be in a one versus Daryl of all people. I don't know what he was thinking. He's a brave soul. Tackle Box Mike in the house. The Bullock Experience. What's up, Kelly? Travis Young. There's Stephanie, a real gal's fish. Air Run just showed up. What's up, Air Run? How you doing? I just saw a couple of Cunningham Outdoors. David Smith, how you doing? Florida Fishing Guru, what's up, Zach? What's up? I think I got Kevin Baker, Nuts and Bolts Fishing. How you doing, Kevin? Did I miss anybody, Lyle? Kentucky Redneck Outdoors just
I don't
popped
think
in.
so.
I think we got most of them, bud.
That's most of them, I believe. We're glad to have each and every one in the chat. It's really awesome to get them in there and mix it up a little bit. And like you, I was watching the bait shop just a minute ago, and they kind of got derailed a little bit.
Oh man, did I get the hammer? I think that was a new record for me in the bait shop.
Being so quick to get thrown out, or the
Yeah,
number
like
of
like
times.
that and like three usernames they got me with. I did
Oh,
let one leak. I got to mention this just in case somebody gets any ideas. I do have another channel that I kind of been setting up on the side for quite some time now. I just haven't had much time, but I showed up with my username Catfish and Crappie Live. We'll be doing live fishing on that channel basically. So keep an eye out for it. I was trying, you know how it goes, Lyle. I was trying not to let it leak out, but I needed to get back into that chat, so I burned that name. So keep an eye out for Catfish and Crappie Live coming soon. My second channel.
trying to figure out who the stork was.
No comment. There's Melissa. What's going on? There's SK's Crappie Kitchen Adventures. There's LG Bass in the house. What's going on? LJ, how you doing?
David Smith. Did you get David?
I think I did.
Okay.
I think I did. Let's see what Cunningham Outdoors has to say. He says, "Hey, Lyle and Mark, you think the gills from last year were big? Wait till you see our fish video from Lake Naku, Nakube and Crivets. Waiting for the kid to post it. That would be cool to see.
Man, looking forward to that.
Absolutely. Speaking of which, I got a chance to go bluegill fishing today, bait fishing mostly, but I
Nice.
actually brought one of your jigs out with me.
Oh yeah, how'd it do?
It terrible, Lyle. All the ones I caught on it were too darn big to use, so I had to put them back. You're talking like bigger than my big old 2X hand size ones.
No kidding.
I need
Wow.
I need bait for tonight. We're gonna have to put a worm on here. So I went back to using worms. I got a bucket full of bait. We're ready to go. But
If you had a fly rod, Mark, I have some little spider bugs tied up.
mhm.
Work really good. Now you could put a float on top of them, like an indicator float, and cast them out with a on the end of that, and leave them on the top. And them bluegills, man, they'll just smack the heck out of them.
I was on our little local lake here last what was it, Father's Day. I went out there and did a little crappie fishing. I got one good one. I got a bunch of little dink ones, and I seen a gentleman or a young man in a kayak with a fly rod, and I found them. But they were small and they were feeding on the top. And I kind of waved over to him. I showed him where they're at, and he was destroying them with his fly rod. They were small, but he was so happy. I pointed him where to go. Kind of made me feel pretty good. I should have got something on video. It was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, Josh, just call me or message me at your convenience. We'll work it out if you're interested and get something going on. I see our buddy Kim Burnett says, "What's up, guys? I have a fly rod." Yes, you do.
I've been posting the
Kim,
pictures on Facebook. I've been seeing.
oh my God, he's been tearing the bluegill and stuff up, and it's great to see Kim. He made an announcement last night at an SK show where he's going to be giving away, I forgot how many dollars worth of jigs monthly. I believe it was monthly. And anybody that's lucky enough to win those, all you have to do is watch his stuff. Most of it's on Facebook, I believe, but he goes live every Wednesday evening. And Kim ties up some absolutely way cool flies and jigs and all kinds of stuff. And he can hook you up with some really neat stuff if you're interested in it. And if you're not, stop in and watch what he does, because if you watch Kim, no matter how long you've been doing it, you'll learn something.
I remember when I got the chance to tie with him here on Panfish Nation, and he noticed right away what I was doing wrong, pointed it out to me in a pretty kind way, and I'll tell you what, it did definitely made a difference. So
Well,
hopefully,
he's an instructor. I
yeah,
mean,
hopefully we can
he's
get
a
him
teacher.
back on there. Self-serving. I need more lessons, Kim. Yesterday was the first SK's live show that I missed, and I kind of regret it now that I heard what was going on. I
Well,
always
they're talking about food. I mean, how are you going to miss
were
that?
they talking about food?
Oh, yeah.
I like passed the heck out. I did an all nighter the night before. I mean, 10 hours. Oh, and Lyle, I have to tell you that Millennium seat. Oh my goodness,
I got two of them.
I can't say enough. I just ordered a second one now for the front,
Yeah, they are.
one for the front. 10 hours in that thing, and I felt like a young man when I got out that boat, not like
They're,
an old man.
they are extremely comfortable, Mark. They really are. But the thing that I like about them is if it rains or you get dew in the morning or whatever, frost or whatever, you can whack that with your hand and everything will flop off of it. You don't get swamp ass. Cindy and I have had a lot of boats and a lot of seats over the years. I have a set of those $250 a piece tractor seats outside.
Mhm.
It's got the reclines and everything works on them. And we took them out to put the Millennium seats in. They're that much more comfortable.
You know,
Uh, but um, if they just had a reclining thing where you get a footrest to come up on them, I'd be gold.
they do sell a cable that you can put on the side to recline them. I found out today too.
Oh, really?
I'll send you a link to that when I get
Yeah,
it.
I do that
I'll
because
give it a shot. I'll give it a run for its money. And
we
listen
only.
to this. The one I bought, I found over at Midway USA for $74.99 shipped.
Wow,
I go to
that's a
buy
bargain.
I go to buy the second one. They must have noticed that they made a mistake on their website because it's back up to $119 today.
Yeah, that's more like what we give for ours. But um, the thing, the thing that I like about them most of all, they're lightweight. They breathe. You don't get terribly hot in them, and like I say, you don't get wet when you sit in them. We've only had one other seat in all the stuff that we've ever had and people give us to use, and that was the seats in that Alumacraft. You could take a towel, wipe it off, and it didn't absorb water. The rest of everything else got wet. Now we used to have. I got a son that works for a place that makes plastic products. They make baggies and
Uh-huh.
trash bags. Trash bags big enough you can stand up in them. They're just huge. And we would wrap when we go to tournaments and stuff, and it was going to rain. Of course, floods move through all the time. We'd wrap them up and put them bags over top of them, and put a bungee cord around them so that the seats didn't get wet, so we didn't have a wet butt all the time. Sometimes that'd work, and sometimes it wouldn't, depend on how bad the wind was. But it's the only thing that you could do. But with these Millennium seats, it just doesn't happen. You just whack them, and all the water comes off of them. And if you don't think you got it all, take a paper towel and wipe it out, and it's a done deal. And the way they breathe, big guys, full figured folks, sweat. You know, yeah, exactly. That's where I'm at, and I sweat really bad. Everybody that ever sent me a hat that wanted me to wear them during fishing tournaments, and I said, you know what? The first day it's ruined because I sweat so bad there'll be a big old sweat line. Well, this one here is from mowing the other day. It's just the way it works. Um, but with those, the air goes through them, and not that you don't get hot in them, but it's a lot less than any other seat I was ever in. So, but
We've
we've
been
had ours
talking
for 2 or 3
about
years.
my dream boat, right? And that dream boat always has the upgraded seats on them. I'm not going to be paying the $600 to $1,000 per seat for that upgrade. I think we're just going to order a bunch of those millennials. So
If it was me, I would just say, you know what, knock off the price of your seat because they're 2 or 3 times what Millennium
yeah,
seats are, and send me the post, and I'll put the seats on it when it comes in.
we'll see
I
how.
don't want your seats because I will never be able to sell them for what they cost. And I like the Millennium seats that much better. They're a great product. And
I
I
saw
like that, Cody. Uh, they
that.
make tree stands as well. Jerry, I did not know that, but
Yeah, we used to call that monkey butt.
yeah, I've called it many things.
Not the swamp A word. So
Yeah, Josh says he could think of some people he liked to put trash bags around,
I
wrap a bunch
saw
of.
that.
Yeah.
Frank over at Twisted Fishing TV, what's going on? But he says he's got a problem with his feet stinking. It stinks so bad.
Oh man, yeah.
Annette Morgan just popped in. What's going on, Miss Annette? How you doing?
Annette and Sean are in a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We're proud to have them in here. It's awesome that they are a part of our show and attend each and every week, and we're really happy about that. But yeah, they're in a lot of shows. They care about fishing and the fishing community, and that means a lot to all of us that do live shows and stuff like that.
Now, I've been meaning to address this. Chad, whenever he goes into a live stream, he always puts those two little eyeballs over there. It's like he forgot how to type hello, everybody.
I'm not sure, but I wonder if it's because he's waiting to see what everybody's going to say about him.
That could be. Or he's just telling him that he's watching. Don't say anything bad about Chad. He must be worried that people are talking about him behind his back.
He had plenty of it a while ago.
Yeah, there's something good to know. They're made in Mississippi.
Sweet. There's a lot more things that goes on in Mississippi that I think any of us ever knew about. Um, Creole keeps telling us about stuff like that, but one of the main things that goes on down there that we all like is they got some great fishing down there. Um,
No comment.
D plus one outdoors. That's a new one.
Wow. I don't know what to say after that one.
Yeah, me either.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, hey Melissa, how are you doing? Glad to see you in here tonight. Super Dave, the moderator extraordinaire for SK Show. One of the great guys that's a part of the fishing community also, and him and trying to think of the other guy's name. Slick. They do a great job moderating for SK. To my knowledge, he's only got two guys that does that, and they have zero issues.
They don't have any issues. I don't think I've even seen people get the hammer over there. SK's got it all. He's got it down. He's got the people that come and chat, and they all like to talk to him via the chat, which works out really
He's a
well.
very knowledgeable guy. Knows a lot about, catches a lot of fish. It's like Slick. He does too. Does great on his videos.
I've been meaning to ask him in his live about fishing in the dog days of summer, because they are coming, and with this heat, they kind of reminded me that they are going after crappie. People say that the meat gets a little mushy in the hotter water.
I'll eat it.
Hotter weather, and he would know, being down in Texas.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I'll eat them in hot weather. Don't bother me none. Throw chicks and babies and throw them on ice. They're all right.
Yeah, you know what I do is I'll actually dump the bag of ice into my cooler, maybe even add a little bit of water, get that, get kind of a slushy mix.
Yeah.
As soon as I catch them, they go head first right into that.
You betcha.
Water mix, and
put a little salt in there if you don't think it's cold enough.
That'll work too.
It'll make them cold.
Preseason. I wonder if I could put a little seasoning in there too.
Old Bay, maybe.
Maybe, I don't know, some of that Don Fredo stuff that Luke told us about. That's some good stuff. Redfish.
I haven't. I guess I didn't order that when I thought he's all on there that night. I'll have to get back on there because I never did get it, so I must have not hit the right button or something. But yeah, I'll got to try some of that because I've heard great things about it. It's supposed to be really, really good. But I hate to even say this. I really hate to say this, but next week we're going to be down in the low 80s, mid to mid 80s for about 4 or 5 days, and I'm excited about that. I'm probably going to have to put some $5 a gallon gas in my boat and head out because we ain't seen none of that 3 or 4 weeks here. It's been in the 90s and mid 90s most of the time, and by the time you get out there and get your fish face on and all your stuff ready to go, it's too hot to do anything. And I ain't been doing any night fishing in a couple of years, so next week sounds like the time that Mom and me are headed to the water.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Hopefully you'll get some of that on video or share it via live. That'd be cool to see you guys out there, most definitely.
I didn't know there was 4 miles.
Make sure you let Cindy know that you're live if it happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she scolds me too, so
she might not be so mean to you on camera.
She does pretty good. Sometimes if you get excited and things happen.
I'm just teasing. Cindy knows I love her. I'm giving her a hard time. I'm getting in trouble with everybody today.
We did have a conference the other day. I was going through all that Mendota stuff, and we got a lot of footage from Mendota, but it's just not usable. And I told her, I said, the biggest thing that happened was the fact that every time we get a fish, I didn't move back so she could go up and dip it up with a net. I would stand there and she'd get between me and the camera, and all you could see was the fishing net at the top of her head. And that's no good. So we learned a valuable lesson like that because most of the filming we done before, we just let the thing done. So I dipped the fish and when I caught them and different things like that, it just what a problem. But this was horrible because where I had the camera mounted. Now, if I'd have put it up in the air higher, it'd have been okay. But I didn't. I had it down low, and we won't do that again.
I've been doing a lot of fishing, and I looked at some of the last video footage that I have, and I did lower my GoPro mount a little lower just so it would be under the bimini a little more because it's pretty much right up on top of it. And now I got to remember either to step back to all the way to the back of the boat or kind of hunch down a little bit so I can get like the top of my head in there because I've been cutting like from here off the top of the last few times I've been out.
Right. I will give
live and learn. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I will give everybody a tip of something that you can think about. If you want to make sure you get everything on your boat in a frame, especially if you're using a GoPro or a phone, whatever mount that you have, buy like a handlebar mount for a paint pole, extendable paint pole. Fasten that to the console or up front of your boat and put that up in the air to where it shines down on the back of the boat. And you'll get everybody and everything. You'll never miss a takedown, and just let it run. and then edit out of it what you want to use from that camera, and have another on there down lower to get the rest of it where you're having conversations and audio and stuff like that. Because unless you have um, a microphone with a long cord on it, a shotgun mic with a long cord on it that you can attach to a stand somewhere, which you got at some point you run out of room.
Yeah.
You're not going to have audio very good from up high like that, but the video is really good a lot of times. So if you're thinking about doing that, that's one way to get. If you got a big enough card and a fast enough camera to write on that card, you won't lose hardly any of the great shots you want, and then you can split it up by going back and find it on your other camera where you broke it and caught fish and didn't, and go to them time lapse things and get in there.
Yeah, usually back when I've been playing with looping. We'll see, the jury's still out on that one. But before that, when I would just let it run, so I'd get the takedowns and all sorts of stuff. As soon as any action was done, I would stop the camera.
Start it up again. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever file it was, all the action was always at the end of a file. It made it a little easier to scrub through to find it too. So
Yep, I quit doing the looping because every time that I did, it would stop right about the time you get ready to dip the fish, and start back up again. You'd miss some, and I'm done with that. Um,
nowadays the new
I
looping.
forget to stop the camera sometimes too.
Yeah, that's the worst part. That's what I'm guilty of. But the new looping, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is, let's say you set it to a 20-minute loop, it'll record 4 files. It'll do 20 minutes, stop, 20 minutes, stop, 20 minutes, stop, 20 minutes, stop, and then overwrite the first one once it gets past those 4.
Yeah, that's
That'll
cool.
keep you from losing a lot of stuff.
Is that something new on the newer cameras, or do they all do
It's
that?
like the 7 or the 8, maybe.
Yeah.
Josh kind of tipped
Yeah,
me up.
because mine don't do that. Josh says pull your audio from your chest camera when you can. It will have the cleanest, and I agree with that. There is something else that you can do um, about audio. I have lavalier mics, and they make adapters where you can adapt the lavalier mic um, into the camera. A GoPro, you can get, or your phone, or any of them. They make adapters that fit those, and you can put that lavalier mic inside there, run the cord up through your shirt, so it's not really that noticeable, and that will get you really good, clean, clear audio. But again, you have to have a big enough card on whatever camera you're using to run that to last throughout however long a period of time you're going to be doing it. I was always under the impression the older GoPros, like I have, would not write fast enough for the bigger cards. But I don't know if the cards got that much better or what. But I'm now using. Is that what it is? The cards got faster because I'm able to use them now on the older GoPros, and I'm not really seeing that much wrong with the video that I'm getting still on my old cameras. But when you was using them 32 gig cards, hell, you was full up in no time.
I use 256s right now, and I'll get like 6 hours at 4K on them.
That's a long time. Yeah.
It's a lot of data. And I've been starting and stopping. And Josh did correct me. He says if you're doing a 20-minute loop, it does 4 5-minute files. So I may
4 or 5 minute files.
Yeah, I may switch mine over to the 1 hour loop then, and we'll see what that is. Maybe I'll do that.
I had mine on 20-minute loops, and I just didn't like it, so I just went and took them all off and went back. And it's easier for me to try to remember to start and stop it. If I don't, you still have everything that way.
I'm going through a chat here, and I noticed Tacklebox Mike says, SK, I was so hungry last night. He must have had a good food show. I missed it.
It was good.
I'll have to go back and watch the replay.
Kim was on there. They'd say something, and he'd say something about it, and you could just see the gleam in his eye because he's already ate something just like that, or he's going to try it or something. So
I made a baked mastacholi for dinner. Maybe we'll take some of that out fishing tonight.
That sounds pretty good.
It wasn't bad. We love our carbs as much as we shouldn't be eating them.
Isn't it the truth? It is the truth. I love
just catfishing with Kaz. You know what, Lyle? I feel bad. I told her I'd come on her show one day, and I didn't forget about it. I just haven't had time. As soon as these flathead go to spawn, maybe I'll see if she'll still have me.
You must go on about the time they start coming off down here.
They're the last two I caught 2 days ago.
It's clean.
Not a spawn mark on them.
Yeah, they was real clean. I looked at them. I seen that, and I thought, man, they're. Or I think, and I don't have no way of proving this because you won't know until you start catching a few of them. But I think they went on about a week or so early around my area,
Uh,
and I think they'll start coming. I think the flatheads will start coming off 4th of July weekend. That's my guess.
4th of July, there ain't no flathead fishing here normally, so they're usually either at the end of it or halfway through come 4th of July up into my neck of the woods, if I remember correctly. I'd have to check my logbook and stuff, but
I'm thinking you probably have a big bunch of people out on the water that weekend. Wouldn't be fit to fish anyhow.
no, I'm gonna hit my local lake. I'll be crappie fishing or even do bank fishing. I've been promising the good folks over at Striker I'd put something together, whether it's a live feed or a video of, using their stink bait that they sent me during my March 1 versus 1. So I'll probably do that weekend, I think. So we'll do a little bank fish and see if we can't get some eater channels in the cooler. So
We have a gentleman in chat called Double Hooked Angling. If you guys haven't checked out his website on YouTube, go check him out. He makes some really good fly tying jig stuff. Um, does a lot of fishing for panfish. Um, I don't know that I sent him a message or not, but I thought I did about getting him on here because it'd be a lot of fun. But he ties a lot of stuff and does a really good job. I think it would be educational for everyone. And hey, we need people like him. There's Lizabella.
what's up, Lizabella? Yeah,
Just
Mike, I get flathead tackle box Mike's asking questions. I get flathead fever in the summer. There's no stopping it. It's an obsession of mine. It gets bad. Once I get that 30-pound tug, forget about it. It's done.
yeah,
Go to sleep.
right. Cunningham Outdoors says was out today and a big gills was still on the beds. They're off here.
I saw beds today. They were empty, Lyle.
Yeah,
Uh, this time of year, the water gets really clear. It's settled down. We haven't gotten a bunch of rain lately, so nothing's been there to disturb a couple of my fishing spots along the Fox River here. And I saw some bass beds and I saw bluegill beds. You could definitely tell the difference in the size.
yeah.
Of
I'm
once,
thinking
once
that
I fished, they were huge. They were looked like someone was bouncing a basketball, and the other side looked like there was somebody bouncing a softball. That's how I
yeah.
describe it.
Cunningham Outdoors is quite a bit north of me. I don't know how his relationship to you, but um, I don't remember. But yeah, he's probably got colder water than we do. But yeah, everybody's catching them. Uh, even our buddy James Dockery's been catching some giant bluegill, which I hope James is not wore slick out. He had a big deal today where they had over 100 kids in split up amongst a couple of classes to teach stuff to for the Missouri Department of Conservation. So I'm quite sure by the time him and Katie get home, he'll be ready for bed. I can't imagine that many kids in one day in this kind of heat to go out and try to teach them guys stuff. But he's really good about doing that, so we appreciate it. Here's a question for you, Mark.
I don't know yet. I have a stream set up that's not listed. We're gonna see what the bites like. I'm trying to get some video together, so we're gonna try doing that. I am going in the opposite direction. I've been going the last couple of weeks, been doing good. So nothing. Here's what happened, Lyle. I started up my own live stream and nothing for 3 hours. I think it was. I go over to Hog Legs because it's nice to have somebody to read, chat, and talk to, and not have to watch the screen. Because when you're flathead fishing, you got to watch your rods. I don't care what anybody says. So as soon as I got on there, I put one in the boat, a nice 23-pounder, and then like early in the morning, daylight. I think it was like 7:30, 7 o'clock my time. I put like another 16 or 17-pounder in the boat. That was cool to catch. So
Absolutely, great
so
fish.
we'll see. We'll judge it once I get out there. But I'm in no hurry to get out there now. It's going to be an all-nighter. I want to spend some daylight hours chasing them in the morning too. So
That sounds pretty good. I see Danny Stone says he's setting up for the night, but listening. Bless your heart.
you know what? Come to think of it, maybe I'll start it in the morning, Lyle. Once we get a little bit of light, it's easier for people to see and stuff while I'm out there.
Oh, there you go. There you go. I didn't know Danny was going live, but it's nice to know that he is. Um, I bet he's doing the show with Jody tonight.
I think he probably is,
Yeah,
which is usually on right after this one. I haven't seen her, so
yeah. So I'm guessing that's what's going on there. We kind of got off of what I had on on the
yeah.
menu for tonight.
Flathead fever, Lyle. I apologize. I get
No,
it.
no, no.
I'm like a horse. I got like my blinders on here.
Everybody's like that. I think. I wanted to. We knew that the spawn in my area is over. So what do you do now? Are they deep? Are they shallow? What kind of
Yeah,
baits do you
well,
use?
that's the thing. Everything's shallow here. I'm fishing in channels right now to get at them. I'm getting them moving. I'm not chasing them in brush the small brush piles we have here. But I'm looking for anything that helps. Like if there's a creek or an inlet or something where I think they might be feeding, or like the actual. When I say the steepest exit or an entrance to a flat, I'll look for that if I have the time or if I know where it's at, because they're pretty aggressive when it comes to feed and they want to. I feel personally, I don't have anything to back this up. I think they're going to take the most aggressive way onto a flat to surprise whatever fish are there. So I kind of keep that long, slow holes. So if there's a depth change from, let's say, 6 to 4 feet, I'll try to get up, even shallower up into 3 feet and cast back onto that slope because they're going to come up that way. And I'm no pro. These are just things that have worked for me in the past. I ain't even gonna lie. So
Yeah, my thinking for bluegill that's coming off the nest, um, I want to find weeds. If I can find weeds, they'll be at
Mhm.
the edge of the weeds, and all the bait fish will be up in the weeds, so they're just sitting there waiting on to come by to get them a snack. And they can also get away from the bass and catfish and whatever that comes up in there. They get through them weeds a lot of times before they can get them. But I think the majority of them will be in the weeds if there is any. And this time of the year, the waters is up usually around here in the lakes and stuff. The other thing is uh, creek inlets, and I don't mean like you fish for catfish out in the river where the creek runs into it. I mean up in the inlets where it goes in, coming in, because that's where a lot of bait fish and small fish are, and that's where they're going to be up there. And a lot of times there's a lot of structure right there where trees have fallen in or stuff is washed down, and it'll be right there, and they can get up in there and hide from their predators. And I think that's a good thing. And they usually are a little bit deeper than they was when they spawned.
I got a spot on my little local lake here that I do really well. That is total textbook stuff for bluegills, right? Total textbook. There's a dock there, two docks there. It's underneath a tree. There's even a couple of tires in the water. They're all hiding up in there. But then on the other side of the lake, I can't explain why, but they're in this one spot that there's no cover, no nothing. It's always sunny over there. It's a flat. It's I can't figure out why they're there, but they are always there. I have no idea. So like when I'm out fishing for them now, what I'm doing is I'm doing like you. I'm looking for those weed edges basically, like I did today. And I'll, even if I'm using a worm or if I'm using a Berkeley 1 inch minnow, or I'm using one of those flies that you sent me, I'm slowly moving those baits until I find them. And
Yeah,
then when I find them, I'm casting back to see if there was more than one. And usually you can do pretty good. That'll speed up the process. Once you get on them, you can get a bucket full of however many you want. So
that's the way I like it. I see Fluff and Stuff is watching us tonight all the way from Australia. Thanks for joining us. Um, I
cheers,
like
mate.
I like to I like to use a drop shot rig for bluegill. This time of the year, I like to use it year round, but I like to use it in the summertime a lot because, like I say, they've come off nest. The water's gotten hotter. They've went a little bit deeper. If you can find the structure that they're on, you can fish right off the bottom, and you can adjust your sinkers on the bottom and your hook as high up as you want. Have it pointing straight out with a bait of your choice on it, and they come up there and they grab it, and they're hooked automatically because it's
Automatically.
the hook's sticking straight out. in my opinion, that's one of the most deadly ways to catch bluegill that I found. I really like that. You can use jigs. You can use flies. It doesn't make any difference if I'm fly fishing. Though I'm usually fairly close to the top, but if you, a lot of people just want to go catch bluegill for bait or to eat, and you can get them with red worms or night crawler pieces, sticking straight out like that. When they grab it, like I say, it's sticking straight out. They're hooked. It's kind of a no brainer for me.
Aaron Cantley's got a good tip here. He says, I look for rocky banks with shade cover in the summer when fishing for bluegill.
That's a good idea. They like rocks. And I think one of the reasons they like rocks is because there's crayfish in there. And they'll eat them.
And freshwater shrimp, they'll eat them too. We
Oh,
have
yeah. Absolutely.
trout magnets are killer for bluegill. So
They are. They work great. They work on crappie too.
mm-hmm.
And walleye.
I need to try the drop. I think I'm going to try that shot technique here in the fall once it gets a little colder and they start heading a little deeper. I think that's what my problem with the famous 25-0 1v1 I had with James Dockery when I got my butt handed to me. I think they were way out there. I think if I get like a quarter ounce or maybe a 3/8 ounce, one of those drop shot balls they sell, with the adjustable little clip on them, I think I'd have been able to get them baits out there. I'd at least showing with that. So
Stan says he likes 2 flies on his leader with a jig on the bottom, all under a popping cork. Another great technique to use right there. Really good.
I can only use 2 hooks, so I'd have to modify that a little bit.
Yeah, well, and that's another thing I was just getting ready to say before you said that. Check with your state and local regulations to make sure if you're allowed more than 1 hook on your line. Some states do not allow that. Our buddy Luke has issues with that. They're only allowed, I think, 1 hook and 1 rod per person on most of the rivers and stuff up there where he lives. So you really want to make sure, because the last thing you want to do is go out to have a lot of fun, spend $5 a gallon for gas, and get a ticket and have to pay that on top of it. That's going to ruin your day.
$135 is $135 you don't need to spend.
That's exactly right.
That's a tank of gas. We're not going to get into that, though.
Yeah, you're right about that. Wow. So,
there's Green Machine. What's up, Dan?
Hey, glad to see Dan in here. We have 75 folks watching the show tonight. If you guys wouldn't mind, if you like what we're doing, please hit that thumbs up. We'd appreciate it very much. We're right at 903 subscribers when the show started tonight. We're trying to make the magical 1,000. So if you like the content we have, please go ahead and subscribe. It means the world to Mark and I. And next week we're going to have Eric Massey on the show with us, and to get great creators like Eric and Kim and so many of these other guys that we have as guests on the show, we need for them to understand that people like to watch us, and thumbs up and subscribers is how they can tell if people are doing the right thing. And granted, we're still fairly new in the YouTube world, but it makes it a lot easier to get the quality guests that we've had in the past. We've had some top tier people in this show with us since we started. So we want to keep doing that for everybody.
Absolutely. It's been a fun ride so far, that's for sure, Lyle.
It has. Fluff says she's been fishing the Great Barrier Reef. Now, how cool is that?
That is pretty cool. One of these days.
You hear about that from the time you're in school. They talk about history and geography and places like that, and you hear about the Great Barrier Reef, and here we have someone in chat that actually fishes it. That's just awesome right there.
That's something we just see on TV or read about.
Yeah, guys like our buddy Mark Davis, that was on Catfish Weekly here a month or so ago, talking about skin cancer and trying to teach people about how important it is to use skincare products so you don't get that from being out in the sun too much. And he's the kind of guys that I look to find places like down Bermuda and places where he goes and catches some of the most cool fish that ever was. And I don't know if he's been to the Great Barrier Reef or not, but if anybody has, I'll ask him next time I visit with him because he goes everywhere. I'd like to get him up here and catch some big blues one day.
Get him out on that Missouri.
He grew up and fished a lot of the areas over here when he's growing up, but he got hooked on that saltwater stuff. And I know that he's done some other stuff recently. There for a while, when I first started visiting with Mark several years ago, he just didn't have time for it. And I mean, you go to the Outdoor Channel, they have those Golden Moose Awards. He's won everything there is to win. I mean, he works really, really hard at what he does, and he's very successful. But he took time out to do a show with us about skin cancer because he's had those issues, and it's important to him that people understand if you don't take care of yourself, it can be devastating.
Yep.
So I would really appreciate the fact that he come on and done that show with us. It was really cool.
That was a great show. And if you guys want to check it out, make sure you go over to Catfish Weekly and go back a couple of weeks and
Yeah.
check it out.
You'll like it. Mark's a very likable guy.
Yes, he is. Very well spoken, very likable, very nice guy. Unlike myself, me, I'm just a curmudgeon. That's the word for the day.
Curmudgeon.
Curmudgeon.
That's a new one on me. Hey, there's Ryan.
Old and cranky. What's going on, Ryan? How you doing, bud?
Oh man, we checking messages here. I just got one that I'll answer here in a little bit. You never know. Sometimes when we're doing these shows, Mark, I get messages.
Uh huh.
Most of them I shouldn't read or couldn't read or won't read. But once in a while you get one that you need to. So I try to check them, but I've had some that I read and wish I hadn't have. I've got some that there's no way I'd ever read them. I'm
Yeah,
sure,
I
sure
just
you
got
can
a couple
appreciate
like that. I was just checking them too.
I've put up pictures of images of them before, and I shouldn't have.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
But it is what it is. It is what it is. We've been having this heat wave, and uh, of all things, my daughter and grandson's air conditioner went out of their house. They think it was hit by lightning, and they're waiting on
Uh-oh.
the insurance company to decide what they're going to do. But the central heat and air unit has been out, and with this upper 90 stuff, they've been staying with us a few days just because it's so hot. And they got two dogs, and they're used to air conditioning just like we are. They can't stay in a house where there's not any when they don't have it.
Especially ones like her behind me. The heat is so bad for her.
Yeah, well, Heather's got a 15-year-old dachshund.
Well,
I mean,
the age doesn't help.
yeah, she's
Dachshunds are,
almost gray.
yeah,
So
dachshunds are a really sturdy breed. I mean, they're made for digging in holes and digging up, rodents and stuff. And yeah, I saw that too, Josh.
gosh,
And they do all right in the heat, but a 15-year-old dog, that's yeah,
it's a lot of years, but they're part of the family, and that's like Gidget. We've taken her in a boat. She's pretty wound up, but she's 5, be 6 in February. I'm hoping that she'll start settling down before long, but I don't see no end in sight right now. Uh, wow, Cause says she has a central air and a window unit, and it still can't keep up.
wow.
That is huge right there.
Need
Wow.
to get that central air checked out.
Yeah, I believe so too. Double hook anglers, they just spent 10 grand on new AC and heat. Now it's frosty. Well, Mark, what was it, last year or the year before? The air conditioning unit went out of ours, and we had it replaced inside and out, everything new, and it was between $8,000 and $9,000.
Wow.
But you can't. You got to have it. I
Yeah,
mean,
you need it. You can't. I mean, I would definitely, if I ever met the guy who invented air conditioning, I'd shake his hand.
oh,
I'd
absolutely.
buy that man a nice cold beer for sure.
When I used to back in the '80s, when I worked in Texas down there in them garages, Ford dealership, they had what they called swamp coolers they put up on top of the roofs, and it looked like burlap sacks that went around a square part, water run through them, and it sucked the air through them sacks with water running through them and would blow them in and out of the buildings. Well, it wasn't air conditioning, but it beat the hell out of what it was outside. You
Yep.
know, it was the swamp coolers is what they called them, but
Yeah.
it worked good in garages in those days.
Hey, there's Fishing Freedom. What's going on, Richard? You know,
Hey,
I saw that Ryobi, and I believe they sell Ryobi at Home Depot, right? They
yeah,
have battery powered fans that have water compartments, so you can use them like a swamp cooler. That might not be a bad idea on a boat to have.
yeah, I agree. Another thing you can do is you can put an electric fan to blow into a cooler and fill it up with ice and have a
Mhm.
duct coming out of the top of it and blow on you. Not sure how long that'll last or how economical it'd be to run, but while it worked, it would be awesome.
Awesome. As Keith would say, it definitely would. You know, I was out fishing the Ohio River and it was super hot with Betty and Brandon. And Betty had this rechargeable little fan and it was a lifesaver.
That
When it
must have
got
been what
visible, pointed at you and it would relieve some of it.
that must have been what uh, Chad was talking about a while ago on a bait shop.
That could be.
Talking about him and Freddie was talking about a fan. I'll tell you, the thing that saves us on any kind of fishing that we do, we have a full enclosure for our boat. But what we use more than anything is the bimini top part of it, and then the sides and the back zip on and snap on to
Uh-huh.
the boat. But that top being on there knocks that sun off, and that is a lifesaver for me because so many of the time where the fish are or where I think we need to be fishing, there is no shade. And if there's not any shade, you're hot. And just putting that up, it's still going to be hot, but it's like 10 degrees takeoff. You
Yeah,
know?
that sun isn't like baking you.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I
just getting out of that infrared heat will definitely makes a huge difference. I mean, even my GoPros last longer under the bimini top before they
oh,
overheat.
I'm sure so.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
sure
big
so.
difference.
Yeah. But I think that is a huge deal. We have taken um, the umbrellas for your deck tables out back your house where you got them big umbrellas that go around them. We've taken them in boats. We still have one, in fact. Uh, it'll make just shade of any kind will make a huge difference. And I thought, man, when we took that the first couple of times, I thought, man, people are going to think we're goofy, but we wasn't the only people out there with them, and I really didn't care. You know, it made such a big difference to do that with that. It was worth it. I see Double Hook Angling says I have an umbrella that I can mount to my wheelchair on my kayak. I didn't say that intentionally a while ago, but Benzies brought it up that he is in a wheelchair tying these jigs and kayak fishing of all things, and you guys need to check him out. You'll be glad you did. He's a real cool dude, and I usually don't bring that up unless I talk to people about it ahead of time. But since he brought it up, I will ad lib on that a little bit because the videos that he's got in that kayak are way cool, and he does a lot of fly fishing. You'll enjoy his channel, I
I
promise you.
just subbed to him. I'll post it right now.
Heck yeah, heck yeah.
Here's a link to his channel. Go check him out. Watch a couple videos. If you like what you see, go ahead and sub to his channel.
Speaking of that, Marcus, something we haven't talked about in a long time, and I know it's again this is kind of off subject of what we were going to talk about tonight, but um, when you go to a channel to check those guys out and you give them a sub, if you don't watch some of a video, they're liable to take that sub away from them because they
Mhm.
think you're just giving it to them for whatever reason. But if you actually spend a few minutes watching a video, it will for sure stick that way. So remember that when you're going to sub somebody. I don't know how them guys that are buying subs and stuff. I don't know how that works, but
No,
if you want to help them out, if you want to help them out, just click on a video. If we tell you that you're going to enjoy that, chances are pretty good that you will enjoy their stuff like trays and double hook
yep.
angling, all them guys. If I didn't like what they was doing, I would never. I
Wouldn't
wouldn't
recommend it.
badmouth them, but I wouldn't recommend them to you.
Yep.
But they're good quality information, and they share stuff with you, and that's one of the reasons why we got in this show deal all them years ago with Catfish Weekly is we wanted to help people catch more fish. It wasn't about making money. It wasn't about doing anything else. At the time, guys like Doc and I and Steve Douglas, there was a handful of us across the United States that was fishing tournaments a lot, and we had, all of us had a certain amount of luck doing it, and was doing all right. And we thought and I know Steve felt the same way, and Doc done one of the greatest YouTube channels ever about teaching people how to catch fish. He didn't do videos and stuff, but the information that he offered was unbelievably quality, and that's why we wanted to teach people how we caught fish. And it doesn't matter if it's me or if it's you or if it's Dockery or James Smith or whoever it is. If they're being really successful, they're doing something different most of the time than everybody else is doing. And if they'll share that information with you, they don't have to tell you the spot or exactly how they're doing it. But if you listen to what they say and use your imagination and take what they tell you to heart, you'll figure it out on your own if you're really wanting to do good. And I know two of the most successful catfish anglers of all times is Daryl and Jason Massengill. And I visited with them boys extensively at tournaments over the years, had them on Catfish Weekly, and they'll almost tell you what to do, but you have to listen really close.
You do. As I was just going to say that. Listen.
If you listen to what they say, you will catch more fish. Jeff Dodd's another one, a very successful
A
tournament.
lot of times when I listen to like people like that talk, they fill in the blanks that I don't realize.
That's exactly right.
No matter how much you think you know what you're doing, there's always somebody that knows that little missing piece or how to improve on what you're doing, whether it's panfish or catfish or crappie or bass, whatever it is. There's always that little something, especially in the tournament world, that you
Yeah.
can learn from. Definitely.
Now, we haven't been doing any tournaments since COVID hit, other than online stuff.
Mhm.
And I have noticed that the amount of quality information in the catfish world has went way down. Hardly anybody's helping anybody do anything. That's too bad. There's still a little bit of information out there. Most of it's rehashed stuff. And there's still a few things that nobody's ever said anything about, that some of us know
Like
about.
bumping rigs. We're not going to go there, though.
Yeah. Hey, if you want to know that bump and read, Hagen Grubb can get it done.
I just need somewhere to bump. I'm sure you'd take good care of me, and I'd go to my.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But there's a lot of ways of doing different things. But I've sat at motel rooms and tournaments up until the wee hours of morning, the night before a tournament, visiting with guys like Jeff and Daryl and Jason and Jason Mathena and a lot of guys. And you'd be surprised at the things that gets told out in them parking lots, sitting on the back of a pickup truck.
With a glass in your hand.
That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them guys, they don't indulge, but they'll work stuff out of you.
Whether it's iced tea or something else,
They'll get information out of you.
it helps. People are a little more relaxed when they're enjoying a beverage. So, Frank over at Fishing TV brought up something I want to highlight here that makes kind of sense to me. He says social media angling is so much more than that now. Catfishing is coming to a modern age. The tournament anglers are known more by those over 40. That's true.
That
but
is true.
that can change. Tournament angling, I know a lot of young guys or guys that are younger than me, I should say, that are starting to really do well in tournaments, whether they're online tournaments, everything from, the fishing chaos to, I think it's called Donkey Fish or something that Luke does up there with Tara up there. I know my buddy Brandon Ishkar, he's doing the Sea Arc ones. He's doing all sorts of ones, doing really well in them. So tournament fishing by no means is going anywhere.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier for people to watch catfishing and learn from catfishing on YouTube, but don't count them other guys out because that's
No,
where
no.
those guys are doing it because they have the passion for that and they like to play the game and they fish probably harder than you realize they fish than
I
anybody.
when the COVID hit, that stopped a lot of things, tournaments included. The one thing that's hurting tournaments now is there's a group of people that think they know more about the catfishing industry that they do. They want to be experts, and one of them that I can think of off the top of my hand only fished for catfish one time his whole life, so he absolutely knows zero about it. But they think that everybody wants big payout tournaments, and they're pricing it out of beginning guys' pocketbook. They're making the pay-ins, the entry fees. Yeah, they're making entry fees so big so they can have great big payouts. Well, most people just want the competitive part of it. If they don't make $1 million off of it, that's okay. They just want to be able to say that I beat your ass in a tournament. You know what I mean? It's not about trying to make a living tournament fishing, because I'm going to tell you something. If you think you can make a living out of fishing, you have to be a guy like Keith at fishing and stuff, or
Mark Davis.
Mark Davis, somebody like that that's doing it to make a living. The only other people that I really know of that makes a living are guides. They're the true professionals. They make a living guiding. The rest of us, we're just kind of hanging out to have a good time and to share what we know with everybody else. Well, there's one just popped in chat I just seen that's probably making his living fishing, Brian B. Uh, but yeah, it's not about that with the most of it. It's about helping people and learning yourself. Because if you think that you know everything there is to know about fishing, you're probably doing it for the wrong reasons. I promise you, if you pay attention to anybody that fishes a lot, you'll learn something from them.
Mm-hmm. Ryan says he likes going on online tournaments and stuff. YouTube Live is fun and family. I agree.
Yeah.
And the Smack Tug's awfully fun too.
Oh, it is. Oh, Northeast Missouri Angler. Welcome, buddy.
Hey, what's going on?
Had a guide trip today. Sweet. Chucky Morgan. But yeah, it's about having a good time.
Anybody that can put food on their table guiding while fishing, that's a hard life.
I'm thinking you're probably right about that. Hey, do you have the giveaway tool pulled up?
I actually am ready this week.
You know what I have? I have a package of thumper jigs. Now these are just the jigs. I'm going to try to show these. They're called the Dominator series, and they're orange and silver. Can you see those, Mark?
I can. I like those.
Those are really nice. It appears to be on a number 2 crappie hook. And then you just have to put your plastic, or you could tie onto it however you wanted to do it. There's 3 to a package. We have one of those.
Well, how's that for a hashtag?
I like it.
Wind
I like
jigs.
And then we have a package of Zfg jigs. Now, these are going to be hard. These have got green heads on them. You won't be able to see them too well, but they're made with tender, loving care.
That's right.
And we'll give a package away to 2 lucky winners.
Brian B says smack talk. No, what's that? Chad's getting in on it.
Good for Chad.
Chad needs all the free gear he can get. He's got like baby bills to pay.
I'm thinking he's looking for rod buying money to replace the rod from Deedon.
This is true.
In the water. You guys that do not know, our good friend Chad Fields is my co-host Monday nights on Catfish Weekly, and we're followed by Mark with the Catfish and Crappie podcast show right after that. So be sure to tune in at 7 and 8 on Monday nights, and we'll try to help you catch more catfish.
We'll bring that back up before we're ready to draw. I think the people in chat got the hang of it. So, Chad, I could have made that hashtag a lot worse, like congratulations, D and Chad, but I didn't.
That's scary right there.
Baby Whiskers, what's going on? How you
I'm
doing?
not sure that Chad wouldn't think it's funny, but I'm not 100% that Dee would think it's funny.
Chad, I'm not even going to highlight that, and that's a total lie. We did not.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't get in on that stuff. If you notice, I never made a comment. Zero comments made. But
Tim
I
Lee
did enjoy it.
started it.
Yeah, he did.
So, what days next week are you getting the better weather, Lyle?
Well, to believe it or not, it's 81 right now,
Let me see
and
what I.
that's as low as it's been. 79 actually. It's as low as it's been in quite a while. But Sunday it's going to be 83, Monday 82, Tuesday 85, and Wednesday 89. And compared to the 98s and 99s that we've been having, sounds pretty good to me. We did have a 65-degree night the other night, but it was way high in the daytime that day, and the next day it was way back up there, and I'm talking above 95. So those days sound pretty good to me.
Better down there than here. You know what it is right now, Lyle? It's 70 degrees here. We got a low of 64 tonight. I better bring a hood.
Wow, that's pretty nice. So what time are you going out tonight?
I'm going to take my time getting ready and head over to the ramp sometime tonight. I probably won't be out on the water until like 11 at the earliest. So
Okay. Are you going to film or are you going live?
I'm going to film for a little while and we'll see how things are going. We'll see if there's anything going on. Usually I'm getting a bunch of messages saying go live, go live, go live because people need something to watch, but
Did
we'll
I
see.
tell?
They got Jody's show to watch after this and
Yeah.
we
And
watch
she
it.
goes to what, midnight or something?
So like 1 a.m. my time, but
Yeah.
I got a couple of spots that I actually talked to Ryan over at Setting Hooks and Crossing Eyes about last year that I wanted to try. Haven't been over there yet. We'll see what happens. If it's dead, it's dead. But you know that whole flathead fishing, it can be nothing for a couple of hours and 2-3 spots, and then it turns on, or you come across them fish coming through, and it's a waiting game for the most part.
Yep, I understand. Did I tell you that we've had tomatoes off of Cindy's uh, tomato plant she has in pots in the backyard the size of softballs?
Not. Did you eat them already?
Oh yeah,
Are they delicious?
they're okay. Yeah, they're not the best I ever had, but they're good. They beat them ones you buy at the grocery store. It's been frozen before they ship them.
That's no lie.
These have been really good, and I tell you, they're just jam packed, plumb full of little tomatoes right now. So hopefully they'll keep them coming. Brian says, "Go live in the morning. I need something to watch at work." That tells you how hard of work he's doing.
That's all I need is to be responsible for cutting
Somebody
down
gets fired.
someone getting fired or cutting productivity down in America when we need it most. Mhm.
I understand completely. I
All
really
right,
do.
well, I think they're done. We got 22 people in. Maybe we'll give them one last call here. So if you want to get in and win some jigs, we're going to draw from this. I'm guessing we're going to draw from the same pool of people
Sure.
twice. Correct?
Yeah.
That'll make life easy for everybody.
Well, the first one will be for the thumper jig. So if you
Yep.
want it on there, you better hurry it up. Mark's getting an itchy trigger finger.
No, I just want to make sure that everybody gets entered. Try to force their hand by making them seem like it's,
Well, there you go. That works for me. But if they're not going to get in there yet, um, we'll just go ahead and give them away, then we'll do the others.
Now you got me thinking farmers market, Lyle, because we didn't plant any tomatoes this year. I think I'm going to have to find one close to here. There's got to be some somewhere.
Ours is only one day a week. I'm very disappointed in that because I like to eat every day.
Hey, there's a Caitlin Bailey. I think that's a new one.
Yeah, welcome.
There's James Dockery. How you doing, James?
Hello, James Dockery.
Jason Roberts got in.
I'm guessing James was teaching all day today and didn't get to go fishing.
Mike Irvin. See, I got a few more of them to get in on the
There
draw.
you go. Yeah.
wonder if James went fishing today. I know he had those classes and stuff you were saying.
I don't know. I don't think he could have possibly. I don't think Katie
Really?
lets him go when
Did
it gets
you
too
did
hot.
you just say that?
Yeah.
He will fish while Katie's in Walmart. He'll go out there for 10 minutes. He can do it.
In fact, I would never do anything to entice him to get her mad at him, ever.
He said, no fishing today. Been in classes from 6 a.m. till 8:30. That's a long day.
It is a long day.
Hello, Cindy. How you doing?
Hello from Minnesota. We're so glad to have you in there tonight. I think we're done, Mark. Let's go ahead and roll them.
All right, let her rip. I saw Chad's name and Lyle's name and Danny Stone come through there.
Cool. I don't know how mine got in there, but
Joe Buck 66.
go Buck.
Very cool. And you want him? How do you want Joe to contact you?
I've sent him stuff before, but if he'll just send me his shipping address through Messenger, that'd be awesome.
Okay, I'm not sure he's on Facebook, but
If he's not, he's got a hold of me before, so he'll know how to reach me.
Cool, good to know.
Yep.
All right, we ready for the ZFG jigs?
We are
All right,
ready for him.
draw again. There we go. I like watching those avatars go through there.
I do too.
Hey, look at that. Bailey. Congratulations, Caitlin. She might need to know how to contact you for those jigs.
Caitlin, if you are on Facebook, you can message us at Panfish Nation or at Lyle Stokes, either one. You can also email me at lylepanfishnation@gmail.com, and you can reach me that way, or catfishweeklytv@gmail.com. Tell me what you want and the day you want it and your shipping address, and I'll get that stuff shipped right out to you. If people get their stuff into me, I try to get them out the next day. Sometimes it's a day or two, but usually not much after that. But I will tell you that I got a book in the mail today that I've been waiting on for over 4 weeks. And it spent 3 weeks in Nebraska for whatever reason. It is, I don't know why, it just sat there. And I was about ready to cancel the order on it, and today it arrived. So never count the mail out. But I'm not sure they're all shipping companies are like that. And I've never had very much trouble with the Postal Service. And I will say one thing about them is if they damage something or lose it and you insure it, they will pay you for it. A whole lot more of that. Shut up, Dockery. A whole lot more of that. The other companies, they never pay anything, no matter if it's your fault, their fault, or nobody's fault. They just won't pay you. But the post office will reimburse you. So, Dockery. Got any closing statements tonight, Mark?
Oh, I'm good, man. Keep your eye open on my channel. Turn on the bell notification. If I go live, you'll be notified. Or check your subscription. So we'll see. I'm not quite sure what time we're going. So we're going to take it as it goes.
Sounds like a plan. Monday night, Catfish Weekly, followed by the Catfish and Crappie Podcast. And then next Thursday night, the Bait Shop, followed by Panfish Nation. Be sure to check in. Eric Massey next week will be our guest, and you don't want to miss that. So thanks, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you next Thursday night.
Get out there and fish, everybody.